It's recording, so it says. My little red lights on. Everything is working. Okay, so today we're going to actually finish this, what's left of chapter 7. But I do have an assignment for you for tomorrow. And by the way, it's Wednesday, just in case. All right, so here's what you're going to do. You're going to make a product for me. Okay, you can make a salt scrub or a body scrub or a lotion or soap. Okay, again, Pinterest is a really good place to go to find ideas, but also just a Google search if you want to make a soap. All right, body scrubs are really easy. I've kind of told you how I did them here. I used like an Epsom salt and then mixed it with an oil and then gave it a couple of drops of some aromatherapy, one of my essential oils that I liked, maybe the scent. Okay, and I used that and mixed it up. You can't put water in there because it'll dissolve the salts. You see what I'm saying? So you can actually make it, put it in a jar. You're gonna have to put it in a glass jar. You can't really put it in a Tupperware, okay? So that tomorrow all of us can at least try everybody's product. Jasmine. Okay, you got it? Does everybody understand what they're supposed to do then? Yeah? I'm sure you can find some Epsom salts. If you don't, you can get them at the drugstore for like 89 cents for a big old package of it. You know what I mean? And if you've got a scent at home, you can put a couple of drops of an essential oil in there. You can even use for your oil, believe it or not, you can use vegetable oil because I've done that because the aromatherapy oil actually takes the scent of everything else anyways, okay? You can use lemons or a lemon scent for the oils. You can use tangerine. There's all different kinds, lavender, whichever one that you like to use, okay? That's just for a salt scrub or a body scrub. All right, you can make it out of sugar, same thing. Okay, there's, like I said, recipes up on the internet. So you just look at it and you're gonna bring it in tomorrow because this is part of your assignment because we just finished chemistry. You're gonna see how easy it is to make something and actually use it. It's gonna cost a fortune because remember that body scrub, if you do that, it's about $75 service. And on a body scrub, all you're gonna be doing is dry brushing, okay, towards the heart. Okay, to get rid of it, your brush kind of just follows your hand. It's like this, okay, so that she feels your hand right behind the brush. When you get to the stomach, you're going to go the way the digestion goes, okay, and then everything else gets brought up to towards the heart. You want to make sure you dry brush them first before you apply it, and then you can do section by section. So you can start on a leg first, okay, one leg, knee down, apply it there, work it in, and then take a steam towel and you can remove it. Then you can do a thigh.
Can't hear you, Miss Jeannie.
Uh-oh, my internet's coming up crazy. Sorry. Is that what you're gonna say? I'm checking it now. I was on this, but sometimes it just changes. Let me see. Sorry, I'm right here, you guys. Nope. Okay. Could you hear me when I was talking just now?
No, we couldn't.
No.
Good. Okay. Because I just actually just checked that Wi-Fi and I'm on the right Wi-Fi, so I don't know what's going on. But if I change the screen, you can't hear me, right? Okay. Any questions on what your assignment is for tomorrow?
Can it be a face mask?
Sure, you can do a face mask if you want to. The only thing that I'm going to ask you to do on top of that is to write a label for it, okay? So your label is going to have like your name on, give it a name. I don't, you know, Diana's double lemon scrub or something, you know, and give it a name. And then you're going to have to give me a list of the ingredients, and whatever the most was is going to go first, okay, on your, like your descending order of your supplies. Does that make sense? Just like you would on a regular bottle, we need to read the ingredients that are on there, okay? Obviously, you won't have preservatives and you won't have artificial colorings and you won't have artificial scent because your scent is from an essential oil, okay? So label ingredient list, okay, and the product. Those 3 things tomorrow. How you doing? You got that, Megan?
Yeah, I
Good?
got it.
Okay, so again, you cannot put them in plastic, okay, or a Tupperware. It has to go into a glass jar. Okay, if you don't have a glass jar with a lid, at least come in with it covered with, you know, like tinfoil over the top of it so it doesn't get air inside of it, all right? So that we can all try it. But if you have a glass with a lid on it, perfect. It's just that you'll need to know this too in the future. You can't put those salts and things in a rubber and keep them, save them. And when I make my salt scrubs up anyways, I make them fresh that day for the client. I don't actually save anything later, but you're going to be saving it because you're going to be using it. We're all going to try it, smell it with our own little sticks, and apply it to our own little bodies. Okay. And then I'm going to have the teachers actually grade it. So they'll come over and give us a first and a second place. Okay. So you got to put those 3 things in, an effort in all 3 of those things. All right, you ready to go on to your book work? Finish this chapter. Okay, those of you who have not done this, okay, completed all of chapter 7.1, and when we finish today, it'll be 7.2 on the Pivot Point Lab. You'll have to go on there to both those chapters and do the challenge, okay, for me. All right, and then you're going to fill in some other things, but I'll give you that later on today. All right, we should be on page 223, right? I had just gone through, I think we were going into enzymes and keratin, right? Did we get to vitamins at the bottom yesterday? Anyone keeping track?
We got to we got to vitamins. We just enlighteners, so we're literally just on the last page.
Okay, so we are on the next page, right? You don't need the lighteners on this one? Okay. All right, so we're on 224, where it says cosmetic regulations, right? Okay, there are different government agencies that we answer to or we look to for regulating things. Okay, and the first one is, let's see. There's a cosmetic and skincare product manufacturers are supposed to be meeting specific standards and regulations that offer guidelines on the intended use to help estheticians recommend products for clients at home. Okay, so what I want you to write in there, okay, is because different agencies have different guidelines, all right, we as estheticians can only use things that are to be applied for beautification purposes, but not for medical, I guess you could say, not medical products. Okay, so it's basically letting you know where you can go. The regulations offer guidelines on intended use. That's the whole part of that. If you go into the Board of Barbering and Cosmetology, and it will tell you exactly what an esthetician is allowed to do. I'm going to grab the one off my board here so I can read it to you. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay. Basically, this is what our Business and Professions Code says. Any person who practices or attempts to practice and or advertises or hold himself or herself out as practicing any system or mode of treating the sick or afflicted in this state, or who diagnoses, treats, operates for, or prescribes for any ailment, blemish, deformity, disfigurement, disorder, injury, and other physical or mental conditions without having the time of doing so with a valid license, like medical license, we are not allowed to do. The reason why I'm telling you this right now, there are women out there, estheticians, that are doing eyelash and eyebrow enhancements, okay? And they have no chemistry in that. They've been trained to do nothing but that. So they can't do that. Don't even think that you can, okay? If you're a cosmetologist, you can do a couple of other things, but you cannot do this at all. It's telling you that the application of any drug-based prescription product on any client may constitute the practice of medicine, and it's not within the scope of any board license of cosmetology. So, but that's not limited to, okay, products that are designed to eyelash growth or thickness and fullness. What they're basically talking about is mascaras and things like that, okay? Because we can do anything that would beautify the skin, but nothing that might treat it permanently. Does that make sense?
What about like microblading the brows? Like, does that?
That falls under the tattooing right about now. Okay.
Okay.
We're not allowed to do that just yet. If you got your license, you've been trained in that tattooing, because it's a different type of disinfection and sanitation, then you can.
Okay.
But they do need a license of something before they actually just go into that.
Okay.
Right? You already have your aesthetic license, so you can be trained in that, but you have to be trained for the disinfection and sanitation, because they're using needles. Okay, and it might ask you to do it in a different room. Does that make sense? Yeah, because it'll be a tattoo room and then it'll be aesthetic room. Does that make sense? And not together. Okay. There's
Miss
another
Jeannie?
thing going on. Huh?
Because I know that when I was talking to Miss Kim, she said that we might be doing the eyelash extension classes, but you said that you didn't know if that would be by the time we graduate. So is there like a class we can take outside of school?
It'll be done before you graduate. It will be. I just didn't mean it was going to be real soon, is what I meant. Okay, but it will be before you graduate. We're just waiting for it so we can touch somebody. We can't touch anybody right now, so that's why it's in limbo. But yeah, she will do it as soon as we can get able to touch another human being. And as it stands, it's not. Okay, I want to go through the eyelash thing too, because people get this one confused. Okay. Eyelash application. It says the practice of applying the eyelashes, eyelash extensions, which are the ones you're talking about. Okay. And then there's eyelash strips. Okay. When it's applied to a person only within the scope or practice of a licensed cosmetologist or esthetician. It's the only people that can actually do that. Okay. So people that are out there right now doing those lash extensions and do not have a license are doing it illegally. Does that make sense to you? You're going to school. Don't you want to see them licensed also? They need to go to school, not just a 3-week or a 2-day class, what they're offering. And you think that they can touch them. If they're licensed for a cosmetologist, sure. They're licensed for an esthetician, sure. They're licensed for a manicurist, no.
If I hear somebody telling me they do eyelash extensions and I ask if they have their license or not, and they tell me no, I'ma just take all of their stuff away and be like, no, sweetie, like no.
Right. Yeah, she's not supposed to be doing them at all. Okay, and it doesn't fall within anybody else's guidelines. Okay, basically, it's no. And there are a lot of people out there. This is what I tell you, because I can't really go down there and start calling in on people, but you can. You're more than welcome to call on someone and call the board and say, hey, they're working without a license, period.
What if they have their this license, their esthetician license, but not their lash license?
Well, the lash line is not a license. Okay, that's what I'm trying to get at.
Oh, okay, got it.
So that's why you want to be licensed first so that you can use this certificate. Being licensed, at least you know your correct sanitation, and disinfection, and hope you follow it, but you fall within those guidelines. But if somebody's out there and just had a couple of days, because they actually do a 2-day class called, it's Borrelia, something like that, starts with a B. It's $1,000 to take it for 2 days, and there is no prerequisite on training.
Oh, wow.
They're just basically telling you, you could do this, and there's a lot of girls out there that have no license. I know, because I've trained a lot of women here now because they're coming back for aesthetic licenses. But if they don't have a license, and the license must be posted in public view. Okay, so look for that little green license. It'll tell you whether or not. Okay. The other thing too, okay, I went through the eyelash. You're not allowed to tint no matter what. Okay. We're not allowed to do it even as a cosmetologist. At a time, there was a time when we were, and there was a time when I would train you to do it, but now it's not. Okay. You're not allowed.
What do you mean tint? Like you can change the color of the eyelashes?
Yeah. Okay. What it was now they make up a bunch of different colors. Okay. And before that, it was just a darkening. When I had the estheticians, they could do the darkening of the lashes and the brows. But now you can't even do that. So no Cosmo or esthetician is allowed to do that tinting. Okay, for fear it might get in their eye and might go blind. But we did used to buy this little kit when I trained you before, which was not a permanent color. And we made little Q-tips out of a toothpick and cotton. And we used that to apply the product. It had one liquid you applied to it, and then you put another liquid on top of it and it would change the color. But we could only go darker. We couldn't go lighter. Okay, but now we can't even do that. There's another thing out there right now people are talking about that is eyelash perming, but it's called an eyelash enhancement. Okay, a cosmetologist can do that eyelash perming. You cannot. Okay, because you have no chemistry in any of that. All right, the cosmetologist.
I use this one.
Huh?
I use this one.
Oh, 1,000-hour tinting?
Yeah, and it works really good, but I only do it to myself. Like I don't use it on friends or anything, but I do my own and I use that one.
Isn't that kind of funny? We were talking about that last week about how they will let the public do it with no training and then they won't let you do it and you're trained.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you're not doing
So we can do extensions, but we can't do eyelash lifts.
right. That's what it's called now, is an eyelash lift. It's the same thing as a perm, yeah. Because you have to have chemistry in the perming, and you don't. The cosmetologist does, but the esthetician does not. So you would have to go back and get your license as a cosmetologist if you wanted to do the perming. Basically, all they're doing, or the lift is what it's called, they're actually taking a little tiny roller. It's really tiny, like skinnier than a pencil, okay? And it's kind of slick. It reminds me of, you know, those pink lint brushes that you would go like this and then you just rinsed them off, the lint. That's what it looks like, but it's very tiny. It goes around the lash and you use the solution, it's a perm solution, and you apply it and it curls the lash up. It's only pretty much used for people that have very straight lashes, I would say. Okay, Asian people where their lashes go like this, it's kind of nice that it'll actually curl it. But that's the only person that I think that really benefits from it. When we were tinting and perming, people used to think they wouldn't have to wear mascara. But there's one thing that you can't get from a perm and a lash, and that's the fullness that you get from mascara, where it plumps it up. Yeah, you still have to wear something else to make it thicker, kind of. So just in case you're wondering, all right, and you don't want to get caught doing something you're not supposed to, otherwise you can go to jail. No, they're gonna take your license away. All right. So all we can do is things for beautification.
Look, Miss
Okay.
Janie.
What is
These
that?
are the rods for the perm.
Oh yeah, for your eyelash. I thought you were showing me the tinted one. I didn't know that was the lash
No.
perming one.
No, they have the different side. I do those myself for me as well too. But no one
See
else.
that, you guys?
So these
They're
are these I have the whole kit. So these are the little rods that they use the glue on. And then of
How are you
course,
gonna do it yourself?
yeah, I do my own. And then this is all the solution. So
Right.
you have all the things there, your cleaning
Just
tool, your lip
visualize it.
pads. But it's because my sister-in-law had her own spa. So she trained me when she got, but I only did myself. I didn't do anyone else.
Wow. You do one eye at a time so you can have the other eye to see?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
I had to find the right solution though, because like you mentioned, it can like cause it to get like the fumes can get in there and make it all burny and watery, and you don't want that. So you have to know what, like some of them are harsh, some of them are gentle.
Okay, so I'm going to go back to that last paragraph, what I was telling you that you can do. Defined by the Federal Food and Drug and Cosmetic Act, it's articles intended to be rubbed, poured, sprinkled, or sprayed on, or introduced into, or otherwise applied to the human body as part of, thereof, cleansing, beautifying, promoting attractiveness, or altering the appearance. That's all we're allowed to do. So we can change their appearance, we can make them look better, but it's nothing permanent. It's like, we're in the illusion business, okay? We're gonna make them look good for a little while and then it still goes back to their normal face. So if you're thinking of a product and that product claims that it's gonna do this and this and this, it looks like it's gonna be medical, you can't use that product, okay? You can use it if it's going to make them look better for the moment. All right, so did you get what I had you put in for the regulations? Okay. There are different agencies, government agencies, okay, that require those cosmetic and skincare product manufacturers to be, to hold specific standards and regulations and guidelines intended to help you as an esthetician. All right, that last part that I just read, okay, that's out of your textbook. That actually goes down underneath the cosmetic regulations. Okay, the regulation of cosmetic products, is it on the flash? I mean, on the slides? Regulation of cosmetic products is governed by the Federal Food and Drug. Is it? Okay, that's what it goes into that area too, right there. Okay. Okay, and under the cosmetics, okay, you're going to write something else, okay? You're going to write in there articles intended to be rubbed, that area, poured, sprinkled, or sprayed. Yay, name? Because the first one, do you get that under that cosmetic regulation, the first one would have said regulation of cosmetic products is governed by the Federal Food and Drug Administration. Okay. And the fair packaging and labeling. Okay. Okay, so the FDA is responsible for regulating the cosmetics, but if the cosmetic is not doing what it claims to do, it goes to the Federal Trade Commission. Okay. I don't know if that even tells you that part, but one of them regulates cosmetics. The other one is the Federal Trade, because they're claiming that it's going to do something that it doesn't do. Okay. And here are your drugs. These are products that are intended to treat or cure medical conditions. So if it refers to the claim and representation made for the product on its label or promotional materials, it's got to say that it's just for beautification. Okay. For us. How does knowing about product types and ingredients help you when you're recommending a product for your client? You don't know? How about, go ahead, Stephanie, were you gonna say something?
I was just gonna say, knowing what the ingredients in your products will help like eliminate or reduce like an allergic reaction if someone was allergic to something.
Exactly. It'll help with making sure there's no contraindications for that client. All right. So again, today you're going to make your product, give it a name, and put the ingredient list and list everything that you put in there. Okay, in a descending order. So the first and the smallest is the last. All right, so I don't know if this is on yours, but that's basically what it's telling you in the Learning Connection. It says create your own label for a product of your choice and list the ingredients and identify the use for each, but you don't have to put the identify the use for each. All I want you to do is make the product itself and give me a name and list the ingredients, because we want to go through them all tomorrow. All right, here's the rest of chapter 7 for homework, or for the rest of the day. You're going to do the matching, okay, on 225. Okay, yes, Griselda. Unmute you, honey. You're leaving?
No, I didn't. I was just stretching.
Oh, okay. Hold on one second.
What's the password to that computer? The one in Kim's office, the other computer? It says you know it. Can you just write it down?
Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay, sorry. Okay, so you have 225, 226 in the challenge. And this is on your book, okay? And then there is the questions, the brain conditioner on 230. And I only want you to do 25 of those. Okay, and then take a picture of it and send that. So everybody got that one done? You got all of it, you guys? Okay.
Can you
and
repeat that, Miss Janie? Repeat that last one you said.
Okay, so it's 225 for the matching, 226 for the challenge, right? And then 230 on the brain conditioner, up to 25 questions. And then you have to go on to, the lab and do the challenge on the lab, okay? So that I can have a record of that little test, right? And then you're gonna take the test tomorrow, the one in the classroom. So if you need to study for that, okay? Did you get the test questions, Jasmine? Good, okay. So everybody understand what they're supposed to be doing? Yeah? Megan, can you pull up your stuff off the study guide so you're able to do the work?
I have the study guides, but I don't have like the workbook yet. So I've just been, so I can see like the slides and I have the actual book that I can read. And I save the study guides to my computer, but everything else I do on Pivot Point.
Okay.
So I don't know if I can do them.
Yeah, can you do the matching and all of the learning connections on the computer?
I don't know if they're on.
Is it
You
on?
you can't do any of the stuff like this, like the stuff you just told us on the computer on Pivot Point. I've tried because I can't find my book, so I'm like looking for it, but no, I've tried looking for it on Pivot Point. It's not on there.
Okay, so I forgot, Jasmine, how far do you live from here? Because I can make up some copies for you if you guys need it.
I'm actually house sitting, but I'll be back today at like 5.
Okay, I'll be gone by then, but you can pick it up early in the morning if you want to.
I'm fine with that and doing that.
Or not really, because you'll be here in the morning. Just come in a little early. I'll give it to you, I guess.
Okay, that sounds good.
I can take pictures. How about that? I can take a picture and just send it on the zip if you want me to.
That sounds like a good idea.
All right, so I'm going to do that for you too, Megan. Okay, I won't send it until about 2:30. Okay. But
Okay. Do you want me to just write it on like a piece of paper or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, that way you can still do it, and you'll have the paper to do it on. Okay, or at least see from it. Okay, so everybody's good on that part. Okay, remind me when I get ready to leave, okay, Jasmine? I'm gonna send that. All right, we need to go to chapter 1. Okay, that's the next chapter that we're doing, healthy mind and body. And I need to give you key terms. And there aren't that many of them, so I'm gonna let you write them. Okay. So do you have paper and pen, everyone? All right. Your first word is exercise. Okay, your second word is nutrition.
Can you say the first word real quick? Sorry, I couldn't hear.
Exercise. Exercise.
Thank you.
That's right. Okay, and the second one is nutrition. The third one is RDA, and you're going to give me the actual word when you do the definition on it. Okay. The next one is calories. Calories. All right. Then we have hygiene. And then halitosis. The next one is ergonomics, and it's spelled ERGONOMICS.
Miss Janie, how do you spell halitosis?
HALITOSIS.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I have carpal tunnel syndrome. That's CARPAL, then tunnel, and then syndrome, SYNDROME. Okay. Next one is nonverbal communication. So next word, nonverbal communication. Okay, the next one is verbal communication. All right, the next one is two-way communication. The next one is tact, TACT. You know, like saying the right thing without being offensive to someone. Okay, the next one is active listening, active listening. All right. The next one is reflective listening, reflective. Okay. The next word is personality. And then attitude. Habits is the next one. Then ethics. And your last one, professional code of ethics.
Can you repeat that? My AirPod died. Sorry.
All right, I'll repeat the whole thing, okay?
No, okay.
All right, exercise, nutrition, RDA, calories, hygiene, halitosis, ergonomics, carpal tunnel syndrome, okay, nonverbal communication, verbal communication, two-way communication, tact, active listening, reflective listening, personality, attitude, habits, ethics, and professional code of ethics.
Which one was the one right after two-way communication?
Verbal communication.
Isn't that the one before?
Nonverbal is first, and then it's verbal communication. The one before nonverbal is
No, I meant the one after two-way communication. I think it's the one right before active listening.
tact.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I thought you were talking about the other one. I'm like, okay. All right. Okay, so those are your key terms. This is a short chapter, but it covers a lot. Okay. Let me get my little. Look here. Okay. So basically, we all know that we need our relax and to rest. All right. A lack of sleep is similar to not having fuel in your car. So if your car won't operate without fuel, you're not going to actually operate either without any sleep. So rest and relaxation prevents poor health and disease. Okay. And adequate sleep, most people are going to need 6 to 8 hours of sleep. Okay. Inadequate sleep, and we'll go through just the little bullets or the little blocks there. The first one is to slow your reaction time, because you can't move very fast or think very fast if you're tired. The second block is it lowers your IQ, so you're not real smart. The third one would be to disrupt normal body functions, like your hormone levels are not going to work properly, your heart rate's not going to be working that great, neither is your blood pressure. Okay, all of these things because you just haven't got enough sleep. We're not 10 anymore, or even 18 anymore. All right, it's also going to weaken your immune system. Okay, it can cause headaches and low energy. It can contribute to poor job performance. It's going to drain your body of the vitality that you have, that feel good feeling. All right, and it's going to affect the body's production of serotonin, which is involved in your normal perception and emotional control. So if you're not getting enough sleep, you cry real easily. That's basically what's going on. And that's the
Miss
first thing.
Janie, what was the one you said before production of serotonin?
That drains the body of vitality. You know, that feel good feeling. So you're not as like chipper and happy and things start to bother you. Have you not noticed that when you haven't got enough sleep, a lot of things irritate you? It's like you have no patience left either. So it's kind of true. So it slows your reaction time, right? Lowers the IQ. It disrupts your normal body functions, weakens your immune system, causes low energy and headaches, contributes to poor job performance, and drains the body of vitality and affects the body's production of serotonin. Okay. These are all reasons for lack of sleep. All right, your exercise now is going to help develop and sustain your muscle tone, okay? Priming the body to work better, look better, and feel better. We all feel better when we're actually exercising, believe it or not. As much as I hate doing it, I feel really good afterwards when I've done it. So it's like I've accomplished something in there. All right, it's also going to help stimulate your blood circulation and metabolism. So if you're one of those people that are constantly cold all the time, if you get up and move around a little bit, it actually gets the blood moving and it warms your body up too. So your exercise routine, it should be a well-balanced exercise routine. And it should include 3 disciplines, okay? The first one would be cardio, respiratory fitness. So you're gonna get your blood pumping, okay? This could be aerobic exercise, all right? Brisk walking, running, cycling, rowing, skating, anything to get your heart rate up, okay? The second one would be under there is that improves blood circulation. It's going to lower blood pressure. That's the next one. It's going to build endurance. So that means it's going to boost your immune system. And it's going to reduce stress. Okay. Well, things won't be bothering you so much because you got your anger out. I know the first thing my mom used to teach me is like when I was mad, instead of going after my sister, she's like, take a walk, take a walk. And so I'd be walking around the block until I was walking so fast. Now I'm walking slow because I've got all that anger out as I walked. But I'd start out like really running like this almost. And then I'd get down to the, okay, I'm walking, I'm calming down. So it does help. Okay. So under your little bullets or your little blocks there, you're going to have improves blood circulation, lowering the blood pressure, building endurance to boost your immune system, and to reduce stress. Okay. All right, on page 3, okay, you have an exercise routine in those 3 disciplines. Remember, we just gave you the first one, which was the cardiorespiratory fitness, right? So number 2 is going to be strength training. Okay, this is the use of free weights, maybe a weight machine, elastic bands to build up your muscle mass, increase the muscle tone, helps you lose weight, and strengthen your entire muscular system. So that's all part of number 2. You can also add to that weight-bearing exercises like yoga, running a brisk walk. These are all also effective. Number 3 is going to be flexibility training. Okay, and this can include yoga or Tai Chi, as well as basic stretches. And it's going to be useful for these. These are the little blocks underneath it. Increasing your range of motion so that you're able to bend over and you're not real stretching. It's really what it does. It also improves your posture. That's the second one. It can alleviate muscle spasms. Anybody ever get one of those, a cramp in your leg where it's like, and then
I got them in swim team. I remember I hadn't swam in a while from the season, and I got a cramp in the pool, and I thought I was gonna drown. And then my teacher's like, "Just eat a banana, you'll be fine." And I'm like, "Oh, okay."
I remember getting them in the middle of the night sleeping, and it get so bad that I'd have to literally get up and walk because it would be in my foot and I'd have to walk it out literally. I'd be so angry because I think, oh, I'll just sit here for a minute and it'll go away, but it doesn't. It just like throbs. All right. So you have the alleviating muscle spasms, and then the last one would be to decrease stress and maintain agility. So your 4 little boxes are increasing range of motion, improving the posture, alleviating the muscle spasms, and decreasing stress and maintaining agility. Okay. Okay, our next one is on stress management. How many in here are stressed under all of the stuff that we have to go through? 3 days or 2 days on the Zoom and 3 days in class, right? Yeah, we're all raising our hands on that. Okay, so it's like a round out exercise program actually exercises your mind also. So under stress, you're going to put tense, tied up in knots kind of feeling. Okay, it can be either good or bad, but it's just how you, I guess, how you react to it. But a positive influence compels to action or results in awareness to help solve the problem. A negative influence results in feelings of frustration, anger, helplessness, and depression, right? So managing our stress means that we're learning to bring moderation to all that you do. Anger and depression harmfully affect and weaken the heart, your arteries and glands. Angry thoughts cause the increased heart rate. Worry and fear are bad for your health. And reading can be relaxing, and learning stimulates brain activity. But let me tell you something. We were talking last week about you can heal the body by certain things that you're doing, remember? And I was talking about that one book. Someone had actually looked it up, but I think it was you, Griselda, that gave us the name of the author. But she literally came across things that we don't even think about. And I gave you the example of that woman getting all these canker sores inside of her mouth because she needed to tell her sister off all these years. And she was holding it back, and it just made sores in her mouth. As soon as she actually told her sister what she thought, all these years of that stuff, the canker sores went away. So like if your upper shoulders are hurting a lot of times, or you've got back problems on your upper chest, outside of just being this, okay, your chest is too large and you're carrying too much weight there, it also means you're having money troubles or you're stressing about money. Okay, so there's different types of, I guess you could say, symptoms that go along with our stress. All right, so it's an interesting book, but if you actually were honest with yourself, you could say, yeah, I do remember something like that happening, right? So taking care of those things that cause that stress will help you get rid of whatever problems you are having. You just have to remember that the negative is not bad. It's just giving you a lot of stressful symptoms. Okay, so you have to deal with them. So under stress, all you have to put in there is tense, tied up in knots feeling. Okay. Okay, positive influences compel to action or results in awareness to help solve a problem. That needs to go in there. Okay. You want me to repeat it, Diana? Okay. It's positive influences compels to action or results in awareness to help solve the problem. So positive influence compels to action or results in awareness to help solve a problem. Okay, and then your negative influences, okay, result in feelings of frustration. Okay, negative influences results in feelings of frustration, anger, helplessness, or depression. And then the last part of that is to manage the stress by using moderation. Managing stress and learning in moderation. Okay, you ready to move on to nutrition? Okay. The old saying that you are what you eat and nutritional habits will influence your health and well-being. You tell us the conversion of raw materials like carbs, fats, and proteins will turn into energy. So the calories that are used by our body do three things. Okay, and these are the little blocks that you have on there. Okay, the first one is to regulate your body temperature. Okay, calories used by the body, two. One is to regulate body temperature. Okay, two would be to build and rebuild structures. Build and rebuild structures. And the third one is to move and think. Okay, so we're talking about nutrition. How do you think water fits in there? Not only because it's actually, we're thirsty and we need that water, but it actually makes everything else work and function better also. Has anybody ever had dehydration once in their lifetime? It is worse than the flu. Literally, you think you're dying. You seriously do, don't you? You feel like
Yeah, no, I ended up going to the hospital, and I thought, like, I started blacking out, like, in and out, and I ended up actually driving myself. Luckily I'm like only 2 minutes away from the hospital, and they're like, you're lucky you came in when you did. They ended up like, they almost admitted me to the hospital. They're like, we're gonna let you go, but please drink water. They ended up giving me at least three pouches of fluid, either 2 or 3. Like, you're just dehydrated. I'm like, gosh dang. And then my family was just, because I only have one kidney too, so my family was like, you know better. I'm like, I didn't know I wasn't drink. I didn't know that was happening. It was really hard.
it is really miserable. It's worse than the flu. I have to say that it really is. So you literally feel like you're dying. Everything is just not working. You actually get foggy. You can't think. You really can't do much of anything. So that water really needs to be in there too. Okay. All right. So let's go to your RDA guidelines. This is fun. Okay. The RDA guidelines stands for recommended dietary allowances. Okay. I want you to write that in there because I used to think it was regulated or recommended daily allowances, and it's not daily anymore, it's dietary allowances, okay? And it basically means the appropriate nutrient intake, okay? That's all it means. Okay, so it's recommended dietary allowances. These calories are just a little off, okay? This book was written a while ago. Okay, so they have for your first block, the calories, they have 2,300 to 3,000 for men. Okay. 2,300 to 3,000 for men. Okay. And 1,900 to 2,200 for women. That's an awful lot. Okay. So 23 to 3,000 for men and 19 to 22 for women. Okay. The second block is your carbs. Okay. Carbohydrates. This is 45 to 65% complex. The third one is going to be your protein, and this is 15 to 35%. Okay, and then your last one, fats. This is supposed to be 30%. Okay, that's a little high for me. When I started this diet, because I was going to have the surgery, okay, the lap surgery, they had told me that this is kind of strange. They gave me my little hand and told me how much my food servings were supposed to be. So they're like, okay, you can have 1 to 2 ounces of a protein. You can have half of that in your vegetables, okay? And then you can get like half of that, okay, basically in as a carb. Like if I wanted a potato or I wanted a slice of bread or something like that. So it had to be like one tiny little piece here, and I could really have more protein or more vegetables if I wanted to, but eat those before you eat the carbs is basically how they had it. And it made sense because if I ate the vegetables and the protein, I really wasn't that hungry for the carb afterwards. But a lot of times we want to eat it with our meal, like we want to eat the potato or the bread or something with our meal. And that's where the gaining of the weight starts. Okay, it's funny. But I didn't realize if you could just eat a certain, just eating those two things, the proteins and the vegetables or fruits, you'd be fine. But of course, there's too many wonderful things that taste great. I just keep thinking if I didn't have to swallow it, it wouldn't be so bad, okay? But I just have to taste it in my mouth. That's sugar, that's salt, whatever it is. All right, calories, let's go to that one. All right, few people eat what is best for them. Who does in here? Everybody eat really good? Oh, good, I have a good class. I'm just kidding, I'm serious, because usually I have a whole class that's just really healthy, and so then I actually have to try to be healthy. But I will be healthy. I just have a couple of little times I got to taste a little something, not the whole cookie, but all of it, half of it. All right, so more than 50% of the population in the United States is overweight. We've seen that, okay? And the problem basically is obesity because there's a lack of exercise, or there's leftover calories that are converted to fat, okay? I do know this, when you have your fats taken out from liposuction, that area right there is not going to get the fat deposited into that area again. So let's just say I had my thighs done, okay? I had most of the fat sucked out of there. When I gain weight, those fat cells will not go to that area. It will go to another area, okay? Because most of us have this one area where our fat fills in first, okay? Could be your bottom, could be your top, okay? When you start to lose it, you start to lose it in that spot also first before you lose anywhere else. But once you've had liposuction in an area, it will not go to that area anymore. It's weird how that works. Okay, carbohydrates now. They serve as your major energy source. Okay, you're looking at whole grains, vegetables, fruits, beans, nuts, and seeds. Okay, this should be 45 to 65% of your intake, your daily intake. And this is to increase your energy levels, calm you, and provide fiber for regulating your digestive system. Okay. So serves as a major energy source. Okay, 45 to 65% of your daily nutrient intake. And it's used to increase energy levels and to calm you down and provide that fiber for your digestive system. Okay, that last one is going to be your proteins. Okay, this is what you need to renew everything. Okay, so it's known as the body's building blocks. All right, it builds up your skin, your hair, your nails, your brain, your muscles, connective tissue, everything. It actually comes from your protein. So this is 10 to 35% of your daily intake should be proteins. They should be low in cholesterol and saturated fats. So that means lean meats, poultry, fish, and low or no fat dairy products. Okay. It can also include plant proteins like grains, beans, nuts, and seeds. How many in here like our little fried foods? No one? That's good. Oh, good. I feel like I have a partner there. Okay, we just bought one of those. I guess it's an air fryer. It's the best thing. Okay, I can still have that fried, but it's not the grease of the fried food. It's kind of nice. It will give you a substitute for some things, not everything, but it does help. All right, so you should have, right, calories, carbohydrates, proteins, right? Okay, and the last one's going to be your fats on the next page. All right, this is a source of concentrated energy. This is supposed to be 30% of your daily nutrition intake. This is unsaturated fats. So this could be your essential fatty acids, which include fatty fish, cod liver oil, flaxseed oil, beans, nuts, seeds, black currant, and evening primrose. All of those are in your fats. So this one's 30% of your daily intake, okay? And it's going to be from your essential fatty acids. You can write your EFAs. All right, your other essential nutrients. So the body is 80% water, so it needs water more than it needs food, okay? It's only second to our need of oxygen. It's clear, colorless, and odorless, tasteless liquid, but it's essential for living things because we can go basically a couple of days, if not longer, without food, but water we cannot. Okay, we need our water, and we need clean, fresh water. Okay, so go down to where it says water and your primary functions. Okay, the first block is going to regulate your body temperature. Okay. Regulate your body temperature. The second one is going to transport your nutrients and hormones through the body. And then the last one is going to be flushes out toxins through your kidneys. So has anyone in here actually tried to detox from something, whether it be sugar, cigarettes, alcohol, something like that? Yeah. Do you know what actually helps you kickstart the detox program is a sauna? Okay. You can start off with a sauna the first day, okay, and start to sweat it out. You've got almost half of it out of your system by sweating. Okay, so then you have to replace it with fresh water. All right. But it actually jump starts anything when you're trying to detox.
I've done that.
Yeah, it does, but you've got to drink the water right afterwards, or you're going to pass out and be dehydrated.
Yeah, it's protocol. I've done it through, so I did this spa thing. It's hydro spa, where they do hot and cold, and the sauna is part of that. And I've done a detox from like diet, and you could say alcohol, but I don't drink much, but it's just nice to detoxify anything out of your system that's not good. So the hydro spa thing, they do a hot and cold thing. So you do hot, cold, sauna's part of it. And then afterwards they do hydrate you. Like it's part of the protocol. They have the water there for you. You drink it, and oh my God, you feel so freaking amazing. I recommend it for anyone. Just to do it, even if you're not just
it does help.
detoxifying.
It really does help.
It does. It works accurately, just how they have it there for. So
you just got to make sure you're drinking that water. So I'd sit in the
Yeah.
sauna over my, my little towel over my head like this, trying to breathe it in, and then I have to drink my water. Do I need anything? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
No, I just need some of those iPads. Remember that's, but we don't have them yet. That's all I need. Okay, that's what we need to order them. Thank you. She's asking what supplies do we need. Okay. So a lack of sufficient water now can cause a decrease in your mental performance. Okay. Kind of makes you sluggish, right? The second one is going to cause pains. So you know those spasms that you were getting? You're not drinking enough water either. It's going to act those little guys up. I can tell when I'm not drinking enough water. I get those little pains. The third one is dry or sallow skin because it doesn't look healthy. The blood's not circulating right. It can cause irritability on the next one or fatigue. So you feel tired. You ever notice though, sometimes you're not so much hungry, but you want to put something in your mouth. You feel like you're hungry, right? But it's actually, you're thirsty. Once you actually fill up from that water, you're not as hungry as you thought. It's so strange. That's another thing on that diet that the doctor had put me on. It's like you can't eat and drink at the same time. So if we did this on a daily basis, okay, if you waited 20 minutes before or after you eat, okay, don't have anything in there, you actually will eat less, okay, because the water will actually fill it up. So what happens when you're eating and drinking at the same time though, you're basically compressing that food so that you can eat more than you normally would. So save the drinking until after you've eaten, like 20 minutes, or do it 20 minutes before. Drink 20 minutes before, but not together. Okay, it says Mayo Clinic recommends 12 cups per day for men and 9 cups for women. This includes water from all sources, even food. Okay, I don't know about that part, but I do know that if you are drinking alcohol or caffeinated drinks, you need to drink another so many ounces, whatever ounces you were on that soda, like let's say it was 12 ounces, you need to drink another 12 ounces of water to flush that caffeine out of that system. So if it was an 8 ounce or a 4 ounce drink, you need another 4 ounces of water to flush that through, and to drink water in between each alcoholic beverage. Okay, so the caffeine.
Miss Jeannie,
Hmm?
I'm just wondering, it's 12:05 right now.
Okay, I'm gonna give you a break. Okay, so 12:15, we see you back here. 12:16, how about that? Okay, thank you, hon. All right, I will see you back here at 12:16. Everybody's back. You look like you're tired, Diana. Yeah.
Little. Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to have the receptionist. She's going to photocopy those for you. As soon as our career rep comes back from lunch, she'll copy them, and then I can send it over in the zip whip. Okay. If anybody else need it, it'll just be up there. I'm going to send it to everybody. You just don't have to pull it up. Okay. If you don't need it. Everybody back yet? Catalina, are you back? Not yet. Do they need to back in?
Miss Jeannie, I had a question about the scrub mask that we're supposed to do today. Is it just that word that we're doing, or do we have to write anything for it, like the steps or anything?
No, you don't have to write a rubric for it. You just have to give it a name, be creative with your little name. All right. And then make sure you list all the ingredients in it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
I don't
you.
want you to make believe them. I mean, what you put in there, if it's only like 4 ingredients, and that's all you're going to put in there. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. I'm just waiting for Catalina. Are you back? Everyone else is. Okay. I'm going to start up anyways. There, it looks like she's coming on. Okay. There's one more thing at the bottom of page 5 that says vitamins and minerals, right? And this is just organic substances essential for normal growth and activity. Okay, and your minerals, you should just have daily multivitamin is recommended. Anybody in here take multivitamins daily? Yeah, we really should. We really should, especially as women, okay? Because we start to lose our bones and all that kind of stuff. So think about that, especially if you've had children.
You know what my worry is about that?
What?
The fillers that they put in them damn things.
And fillers and what? Oh yeah,
The vitamins.
Vitamin. You can't just buy with something at the drug. Like, oh, I'm going to buy it at the 99-cent store. I really wouldn't go that far.
Yeah.
But anything that actually, if you can find one that actually stresses about skin, hair, and nails, which is the protein, that one is good. And they usually give it to women that are pregnant. Okay, those 3 things that are in there. If you've got a daily vitamin, then you want something for your bones.
Yeah.
Okay, really good.
Angela, you can go to a place like a even like a holistic person, and they can give you something like that's good, and then like supplements or something that are more natural. I mean, they taste gross, but they work.
Yeah, I'd rather have something natural. Yeah.
Like a nutritionist, because I'm the same way, because I'm more like the natural kind of way, like holistic. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. All right. I'm just going over a couple of those little things. Let's just review since we went on a little break. Okay. So what do you think is recommended? What's the recommended number of hours we need to sleep each night? Anybody have an idea?
8, I think.
Yep, like 6 to 8 hours. Yeah. Because you're like, I can't even get that many and I need it. The weird part about it is because I'm older, I keep thinking that I have to let Megan, I need more sleep because I get tired really easily. But I think a lot of times if I just stay up, I'm okay. So like, I'm real tired, want to go to bed like 8:30. And then if I end up staying up until 10, I end up staying up until 1. I can't go to sleep until like 1. And I sleep only like 5 hours because I'm up at 5:30. So I'm like, I actually feel better when I don't get that much sleep. I think I sleep too much sometimes. Well, what happens if you don't get enough sleep? What happens to your body?
You start to shut down, kind of like you can't even think, like you can't function correctly.
Your normal body functions don't function right. Your reaction time, doesn't function right. It even causes the immune system to weaken. So we got to get enough sleep. And each one of us has a different, time frame that you actually work from. But it's usually the 6 to 8 hours. How to sleep deprivation affect the body? Have you ever seen that or heard about that? People literally can go into hallucinations. No lie. Okay, it actually wrecks the body's serotonin level when you're sleep deprived, but it also, in our own mind, we're thinking to ourselves, we can actually start seeing things that aren't even there, hallucinations. So it's not good to like stay up for 3 days and try to function. I keep thinking of somebody that's taking drugs to stay up. Okay, have you ever seen how crazy they start to act? Their reactions are just crazy for the littlest things. So we really do need that sleep. How do you relieve stress? Or how do you manage your stress?
You exercise. That's how I would run, and it kind of helps you clear your mind because you're focusing on one thing.
Yep.
You can even honestly, the best way to manage your stress is taking time for yourself and kind of going not into isolation mode, but kind of a self-care mode, because then you can focus on the issue that's making you more stressed.
Yep. How about you guys? What else? What do you think your stress is? What does it do to your body? Or what do you do to cope with it? Let's put it that way. Diana, what do you do?
Usually read or yoga.
Okay. Megan, what do you usually do?
Well, I'm pregnant, so I'm stressed all the time.
Yeah, stressed all the time. You need to not be stressed, okay? Go get a pedicure or something because you have a baby in there. You can't be stressed.
I mean, I used to go to the gym, but I can't really do all of that anymore. So now I just take a shower and I'll watch my show or something. Cause there's not really a lot I can do.
Yeah, that's true. But
Or
even
shop.
if walking, yeah, or talk to
Retail
somebody.
therapy is the best.
I think these therapists are actually making a fortune right about now because we're all stressed out.
Megan, did you say retail therapy was the best?
Yeah,
That's me too, honestly. That gets me in so much trouble.
literally when I'm stressed, I shop so bad. It's so bad.
I know there's boxes just coming to my house because I don't go out shopping. I just go online, and my family's like, "You need to stop," and I'm like, "I can't help it. It makes me feel so much better."
I know. I finally ran out of money, so I couldn't shop anymore. But boy, I was doing it for a while there because I didn't have anything else to do. Yeah, thank you, honey. Okay. All right, so she made me my copies for you. So as soon as I finish this class, I will actually send it to each, to the zip whip. Okay, let's see. What else was I going to do? Oh, what does the term RDA stand for?
Recommended dietary allowance.
Yes, that's what it stands for. Okay. Why is it essential for the body to have sufficient intake of water?
So your organs can function.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I was trying to say.
Yeah. What else does it do?
Circulate your blood.
Toxin, yeah. It starts to clean out the blood, but it flushes out the toxins in your body, right?
Hydration.
Okay. Your kidneys, yep. It actually regulates your body temperature. Did you know that? Okay, and it's going to transport the rest of the nutrients and vitamins throughout the body with that water. Okay, let's see. That's about it on this particular one. I can go on to my next part of this lecture and we'll finish this up. All right, so we should be on page 6 and it's on hygiene now. Okay, and hygiene is the applied science that deals with healthful living. Okay, so personal hygiene, okay, you have these little blocks in that green block on yours. It's the individual system for maintaining cleanliness and health. Okay, so it's your personal system for maintaining your health. All right, the second one is cleanliness is primary. Okay, keeping things clean. The third one would be to establish and maintain a personal hygiene routine. Okay, like going to bed at night, you want to make sure you brushed your teeth and washed your face, your hair out of your face. Okay, that's a little routine that you can make. In the morning, you have a different one. Okay, and the last one, all bodies produce odors. So don't assume you don't need a deodorant or an antiperspirant. I always say these are not options, okay? Some of us need them, period, to function, okay? There's a difference between an antiperspirant and a deodorant, okay? An antiperspirant is there to block the wetness, okay? And the deodorant is for the odor. So some of us need both. Now there are some that are both on the market, and then some of them are just one. So pay attention to your deodorants and antiperspirants. Okay, and then it gives you halitosis. This basically means bad breath. Okay, it says to brush your teeth 2 to 3 times a day. That's a minimum. Okay, if you're eating something that's spicy that might be offensive to someone, make sure you need a breath mint and not gum. Okay, especially here at the school because there's hair flying around all the time. Maybe you don't see it, but it is flying around. It's the weirdest thing. I remember doing haircuts at my home, and I would clean my house all day on Saturday and then or Sunday, and then someone would come over and I'd cut their hair, and then I'd be finding little pieces of hair all the rest of the week. So I stopped doing that at home. But the hair is floating through the air. Somebody knocks something over, it turns a blow dryer on, there's hair flying. So if you've got your mouth open and closing like this because you're chewing on gum, what do you think you're chewing on? Hair. So it's a mint because it keeps your mouth closed when you're instead of gum. All right, your public hygiene now, okay? Your first block, this one helps promote and preserve the health of the community, okay? Your next block is the 4 primary health hazards that we have to look for. Impure air, this could be from your poor ventilation, okay? The vents not being properly cleaned, okay? Inadequate lighting, okay? That can irritate your eyes. Do you know that fluorescent all by itself can irritate some people's eyes? The improper disinfection practices, what can that do? We can pass on disease, right? If we're not properly doing our disinfection practices. Okay, and the last one would be for improper storage or the use of food. I think I've mentioned this, that you do not want to have your lunch in the same refrigerator as your chemicals. Okay, same thing in your cupboards where you're working. So you would have a cupboard for your cleaning products, and then you would have a cupboard for like your bowls and implements that you use for your services. Your products will go in another cabinet. So if I had my like lab, you know where the sink is in our area, right? Okay, all of my cleaning stuff is down below the sink, all right? But anything that I use in my treatment room is above. Okay, you shouldn't have them mixed together. Okay, body odors, okay? This is to prevent offensive body odors, all right? The first one is to bathe regularly and use soap and water. Again, that's not an option for some of us, okay? Especially because we're very close to a client. The second one is to apply a deodorant. Okay. The third is to avoid excessive use of colognes or perfumes, especially if you haven't previously washed and used soap, because that perfume's going over that BO, that doesn't smell very nice either. Okay, the next one is to wear clothing only a few times before washing. How about once? I don't wear my clothes a couple of times before I wash them. After it's been worn, it's pretty much, I gotta let it go. Gotta go to the laundry room. Okay, using talc or foot deodorant. Okay. The next one is to consider the food intake and the state of health related to yourself. In other words, garlic and onions have a tendency to make your breath smell like garlic and onions. Okay, so be aware of what you're eating. However, some vitamin supplements can make you excrete that odor. I had a young lady that was, she had gone to lunch, but when she came back and I asked the client how her facial was, she said, you know, it was a beautiful facial, but she must have had garlic for lunch. And I kept thinking to myself, So I actually asked her, I said, when the client left, I said, did you have garlic for lunch? And she goes, no, why would you ask me that? And I explained to her, and she goes, you know what? She takes a supplement because garlic's good for the heart. Okay, she was taking a supplement, and actually the lady could smell it through her fingers because she was excreting, you know, like sweat through there, and the odor came through her on her hands, which went to the lady's face. Okay, the last one is professionals are licensed to protect and serve the public. Okay, so we're making sure that everything is clean before we go and work on a client. So you've gone through maintaining your oral hygiene also, right? So on your blocks, you should have bathing regularly, applying deodorant, avoiding the excess use of colognes or perfumes, right? Wear clothing, put in there once. Using talc or foot deodorant if needed. Consider the food intake and the state of the health related to breath. Okay, and then maintaining a good oral hygiene to prevent bad breath. Again, going back to the mints, okay, instead of gum. All right, your image. Okay, the skincare business is a service industry, okay, and you must focus on your image daily because you're working with clients. So pay close attention to your personal grooming. Your professional appearance is a must, okay. First of all, it's going to add to your self-esteem, raise your image in your client's eyes, but your image is a direct representation of you, okay. So it's your personal image is what they're looking at. You want to make sure that anything that you're working around, like your room is actually clean, but you want to look clean. A lot of times there's many estheticians that don't wear any makeup, and that's perfectly fine because your skin looks amazing, okay? And your client's wanting to see your skin. So just think about that. Do yourself a favor when you're working at certain times, walk into your treatment room like it was the first time you ever walked in there. Use those eyes because you may see things every single day and not pick up on it, where it looks like it's cluttered. If you were the person walking through that door for the first time, what's the first thing you're going to see? Is it going to be neat? Is it going to be clean? Is it going to be junk all the way around it? I don't mean like junk, but knickknacks and things like that. You want it to be very sleek, I guess you could say, and lean. You don't want to have a lot of things in there. The tools of your trade and you, okay? I know we're here at school and all of us like to come into school looking like we're half dressed, but that's okay. When you go into the field, you want to make sure you're properly prepared before your clients come in. Okay, so that starts off with your hair. And in this industry, girls will pull their hair back. I'm so nervous around Akash. I really am. Her hair is so long. It just comes forward like this, and I'm just waiting for that day that it'll end up in the wax one day. I'm like, you've got to keep it up, okay? The rest of you that have longer hair, I would keep it up also, okay? Because all you need to do is to fall into something and you can't get your hair out of it, right? Okay, so your hair should be clean and healthy and beautiful and groomed neatly. If you have to, put it back in a bun, okay? That looks professional enough, okay? I'm gonna start you on your next area. Give me 1 second here. Okay. So we should be on page 7, correct? Yes. Hold on. Okay. Then you're going to look at your skincare. That's on the next page, on page 7. A healthy, glowing skin is dependent on good nutrition, proper exercise and rest, because poor habits, eating habits, and lack of nutrition will result in a dull complexion. So your skin is your best advertisement for your clients. Your makeup. Keep your makeup minimal. For those of you that are starting those little lashes, like starting with, you don't want to have your makeup running down your face, okay? So apply as minimal makeup as possible, just enough to enhance features and to have tasteful makeup applied, okay? Not too much. Your hands, this is another thing. A couple of you have longer nails in there. You might want to shorten them a little bit, okay? Keep your nails well manicured. The reason why we don't usually wear polish or the acrylic nails on there because they pick up dirt and it stays in those acrylics underneath your fingernails. No matter how much you scrub them, there is a little bit of bacteria in there. And we're talking about doing someone's skin. So unless you're willing to wear gloves every time you give a facial, that's what I would do, okay? Either wear the gloves or cut them shorter. You're going to notice that when you have each other doing facials on it, you can feel the difference between somebody that has nails and somebody that doesn't, because they're not actually getting the whole massage in there because they're afraid of the tips of the fingers, right? Remember when I was talking to you guys, you have to kind of go like this, right? Curl your fingernails up or your fingers up like this. When you're giving a massage like this, you don't have to worry about that because of the nails. So I'm just giving you a heads up on that.
Miss Janie, what about if you just get like your regular fingernails painted?
Yeah, you'd probably want to make sure that there's no chipped polish on there, okay?
Okay.
Because that's gonna look worse to someone, a client that comes in and says, if you're not taking care of your hands with the polish on there, are you gonna be able to take care of my skin? Do you see how that kind of makes them think about that?
Yeah.
So either keep it very light or no polish. You know, you
What
can
about
actually,
what about the little like paper thingies that stickers that you put on your nails? I don't know how to say them. But they're like they look like polish, but you literally just stick them on your nail.
okay, so they're like gels, but they're stickers. I get what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
If they look like they can chip, I wouldn't do it. Or if they look like they're gonna fall off, because a lot of those are like, it is a gel where it's real thick, and so you could probably peel it off with one finger, right? In one big piece. Yeah, okay, so you don't want to have the client noticing that on your fingers, okay? Because bacteria literally gets in between that polish and your own fingernail, if you really want to see that, okay? So I usually tell them if you want to wear a clear polish, but there's a better way to do the clear polish instead of using that because it chips, right? They have a buffing cream, all right? And you can buy this little tiny, it looks like a chamois, but it's a nail chamois. You put a little bit of this cream onto the fingernail itself and you'll buff it and it looks like you have clear polish on your nails all the time, but it isn't polish. In fact, it's nothing on there because you're just buffing your own fingernail, okay? Have you seen this at the drugstores? You can purchase it. It's a cream, okay? But you're using a buffing and it polishes up the nails so it looks like you have a clear polish on there. So because it doesn't chip off, because it isn't polish, your nails always look clean and shiny, if that's what you're looking for. But if you're gonna wear polish, I'd make sure that there's no chips in it, okay? That's a main thing. Because think about how you would feel if you had somebody that had chip polish in there, right? I wouldn't want her to work on my face. I want her to wear gloves on my face. And a lot of people like that touch, that human touch, and not so much the gloves. But I'm gonna actually have you guys do and give a facial with gloves so that you can feel the difference between a bare hand and a glove. Okay, because this industry is all about touch. All right, so it just says in your textbook, it says artificial nails are impractical and hinder a good service. Nails should be attractively manicured and short and free from all polish. So it's just an FYI, okay? Your feet, says practice good posture and wear properly fitted, low, broad heeled shoes that give support and balance. It's really not wise to wear spiked heels or any type of a heel, come think of it, in this industry. Yes, you may be sitting down, but there will be days you'll be doing waxing. And are you going to be able to stand in those heels all day long, bending over? Yeah, not such a wise choice. Okay, so to keep your feet at their best, schedule regular pedicures. You shouldn't be wearing open-toed shoes either. Okay, closed-toed shoes in this industry in case something falls, drops, whatever. We do have extractors and a couple other things that have little sharp pointed things on them. You don't want them to come into your feet because you're not covered. If you're going to wear, well, I really want to go through that. You can't wear it here. I can't tell you can't wear that in the real world, but it's not practical. Let's just put it that way, okay? Because in the real world, I guess you could wear it, a sandal or something where your toes are exposed, but I wouldn't recommend it, okay? Here at the school, you cannot do it because of insurance. But in the real world, it's still smart not to use open-toed shoes in this industry. Your clothing, it should be clean, freshly washed or pressed. It says to wear loose fitting clothes so that you have the ability to move around, okay? It's kind of hard if you've got something on very tight and you try to bend over or move around on your client. Jewelry, it says, keep your necklaces, earrings, and watches plain and simple. Avoid bracelets, rings. Most salons and schools have dress codes. We don't have one as far as too much jewelry, okay? It's just not smart because you're around a lot of people that something might get lost, okay? I can't wear anything that's lays above, like on a ring, because I'll catch it on somebody's face. So either you take your rings off prior to that, or you just don't wear them in here because it makes sense. You don't want to lose it here somewhere at school, okay, or at home. So either your rings have to be flat or flushed so that they don't irritate, or you just don't wear them at all.
Miss Jeannie, are these like things like the way you dress or something at your job? Like, or is this something that you could be fined for or like get in trouble for?
The only one that you would get in trouble for, I think, and some of them are here, it's just like open-toed here, you can't do that. The jewelry, you're on your own if you're wearing jewelry in here, but I'm gonna just give you a story. I had a young lady in here, her ring was probably about 10 grand, and her best friend actually stole it from her in the class, and she blamed it on everybody in here at one time or another until we found out it was her. She had actually turned it into one of those pawn shops, and they had a camera, and she was shown that, but I couldn't believe it was her best friend, the one that she actually paid for her tuition in school and everything.
Oh.
And the girl had stolen from her. So I don't want you guys bringing jewelry here and then taking it off and leaving it like on a counter or a tray or even in a treatment room, and somebody like me, okay, picks it up and throws it in the laundry or something by accident, okay? So, or you do because you forget that you took it off. Just keep your expensive stuff at home, okay? But as far as state, no, they're just gonna make sure you that you don't wear open-toed shoes, I guess you'd say. Okay, that's just one thing there. The rest of the stuff is just common sense, I would think, because there are people that don't really think that bathing is a necessity, okay, or that being clean because you are working with the public, that you have to be. I've had to send out gift baskets to students putting it out as a gift for their graduation, and it have laundry soap in it and, body spray and toothpaste. And you wouldn't think that somebody coming into this field would have to be told that, but they do. Give me 1 second. Jasmine, are you okay? Okay, all right. Just want to make sure. All right, sorry, you guys. Not really. If you does that answer your question, Megan, a little bit?
Yeah, and when we go to state board, do we have to like dress like the same as school? Like, do we have to wear all black or black and white?
You know what? They don't have a prerequisite to go there. However, I would say dress professionally, I wouldn't wear high heels, okay, but dress professionally. All right, neatly. I would do no bees showing. We call it the boobs, the butt, and the belly. Okay, all of that covered up pretty much. And jewelry you don't want to wear because they really they won't let you wear a watch in there, okay, for exams. But other than that, you're okay. All right. I'm going to stop here just so I can make sure that everybody understands what our homework is, okay? So if you don't have these pages in your workbook, you can actually do the work from this off of the zip, okay? You'll just have to make it a little bit larger so you can fill it in, okay? So if you do have it in your book, you'll have she forgot one page in here. Yes, she did. Okay, I'll have to go get that. Okay, so you have the matching, you have the challenge, and you have the brain conditioner, right? Out of the textbook, out of your study guide, right? Okay. And then you have your assignment for a body scrub or a lotion or a hand cream or whatever one you want to make, okay? Is everybody good on that? Yeah? Okay, it's still recording. So I actually have 2 minutes. So are there any questions? Comments?
For the matching for what you're gonna send us on the zip whip, do I just write it on like write the answers on notebook paper and then send you that?
It's gonna look like you'll be able to see it on the matching. It'll have like the list of words on one side, and then on the other side it'll have definitions, and then the middle has actual like blocks to put it in. So you're going to take the matching on the left side and put it in there that matches to the description. So when you see it, just write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and just write the letter in there for me. Okay.
Okay. And then I did the challenge on Pivot Point already. So do I have to write that down and send it to you also?
No, it says to submit, and you just submit it to me. Submit it on the computer, and I will pick it up from there.
Okay.
Okay, the one that's the challenge on the paper right here, you're going to have to take a picture of it, okay, after you complete it. And again, you can just write the letters next to the test, okay? So like question number 1 says true or false, so you would write just If it's false, put fault, you know, F or T. Let's see, the number 4 starts off with multiple choice, and it says, what is the branch of science that deals with chemicals and their reactions within the body? Well, we kind of know that that's biochemistry, so that would be letter A. Okay, so anytime that there's a multiple choice, all you have to put is the number and the letter. Okay? All right. Any other questions? No? Okay, I'm gonna go make a copy of that and send that onto the zip whip. All right? And you guys are done for the day. And I will see you tomorrow with your products, okay? Don't forget, I want to see them tomorrow. Good night, Ann. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Bye.